I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see the veteran Joe Flacco and his new team, the Denver Broncos, as they take on Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. So with that, let's get out to the East Bay in Oakland, California. On the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, it is a building that has seen it all through the many years of its existence as EA Sports welcomes you to Oakland, California. The pregame festivities here in Oakland have to be seen to be believed. This crowd in silver and black, they are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Denver Broncos. Glad to be with you, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. And, Charles, we got a good AFC West matchup. And you look ahead to the division race this year, the gap from top to bottom, that may just be tightening.
It certainly is. And this is one of my favorite divisions to talk about year in and year out in the NFL, because when you go through it, everyone has a good reason to think that they can win the division. The Raiders got better picking up Antonio Brown. Can he help their young quarterback continue to progress and make plays? How about in Denver? They may be hitting the reset button, but they always have players. Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes, by the way, and Phillip Rivers is still firing away for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Derek Carr is set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his 6th season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014. And a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft, even contemplated maybe making a run at Kyler Murray, but in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping that he's the long-term answer.
40 down, 180. Hey, watch the slant, watch the slant. Push up.
Carr now on first down. Over the middle here to Wilson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
So second and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 46. On first down, they go with Jacobs again. The football comes out. Jacobs lost it. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 2nd and 7, Carr caught out right by Renfro. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
And all eyes will be on Antonio Brown on the outside, now wearing a uniform other than Pittsburgh's. donning the black and silver of Oakland. How will he mesh with his new head coach, John Gruden, his new quarterback, Derek Carr? Let's see how things go.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Throw left side complete. It's Grant. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
Well, showcase cornerback Kareem Jackson has brought his talents from Houston to Denver, and the Broncos are really excited about using him all over their secondary. Primarily a corner for most of his career, the last couple of seasons he swung back to safety as well, and has done a nice job in both spots.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer.
Back to the running game with Jacobs. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
This will be play number 9 coming up on this relatively long opening drive as they look to convert on 3rd down. To throw is Carr. That's going to be caught by Williams for a Raiders touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. That was a really good opening drive on a number of fronts. 10 plays, very methodical, set the tone.
So you know right now, if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're on the sideline saying, okay, what do we have to dial up in order to get off the field a lot faster? Because both sides are out there for 10 plays, but one side comes off energized, and the other side comes off with some questions.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with an Oakland touchdown. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now here are the Broncos for their first drive of the game. They'll be led out by their quarterback in his 12th NFL season now. It's the veteran Joe Flacco. He's hitting his mid-30s now, but you think of recent years, veterans like Brady, Breeze, Rivers, and Roethlisberger, excelled into their mid to late 30s. The question, can Joe Flacco continue his NFL career? Of course, the MVP of Super Bowl 47. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They look to throw on 1st and 10 with Flacco. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Lindsey. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
And how about Phillip Lindsay's rookie season? Began the year 3rd on the depth chart. Finished it in the Pro Bowl. Not bad for an unrestricted free agent out of Colorado with speed to burn.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Play action, Flacco. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
The absolute right player to focus on in this Oakland defense, linebacker Vontaze Burfict. Brought in from Cincinnati for one reason only, to help set a more aggressive tone for the Oakland defense.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun, Flacco. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. A safety with a sack there, LaMarcus Joyner. Oh, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Second-year punter Colby Wadman out there now for the Broncos. Back deep for the Raiders, Dwayne Harris. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 15. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. All that, and it only nets him a yard. It's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Check, 47.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing, often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on third down. Shotgun now for Carr. He gets it to Brown. Complete. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. Brown, his first catch. It's a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Carr will come up here with a 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. Carr gives to Richard. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
On 2nd down and 4. Carr, it's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
We got this.
Throwing now is Carr. Over the middle, he's got Tyrell Williams. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Now he's going to go deep down the left. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. That one good for 37 yards.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
You better be afraid of me.
From the gun, it's Carr. Out to the right here to Wilson. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On 3rd down, Richard. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Fourth down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. The kick by Carlson is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. Last season for Carlson, been a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. This will be fielded at the 8. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
The false start backs them up 5. 1st and 15.
Let's go, D.
Flacco. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Curtis Riley. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bashed it.
Super toe.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. That is caught at the 7. The end result, 21 yards. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab, and the Raiders add on to their lead.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Carlson on for the PAT. He's got it, and it's 17-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. He was looking for Tim Patrick that time, but it's going to be 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Incomplete on 1st down. Now Flacco on 2nd. And he's got room. There he goes right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Carlson now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. And I'm not going to say you completely abandon the passing game, but it would really behoove them to get this running game going more.
That's the identity most teams are seeking, able to establish themselves, control the game by running it, have to touch it multiple times in order to have success in this game.
And as we say, yeah, that's right. As we say all the time, that sets up the passing game. I feel like a broken record with that.
Listen, we can be broken records all we want. Bottom line is, lather up that big horse and let him run.
Flacco right back to work after the pick six. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So from the 36 now, first and 10. Flacco. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Flacco to throw again on second down. And incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They go pass again with Flacco. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Check, 47. Tackles.
Carr now on first down. Renfro bringing it in over the middle. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
Watch the slant.
And this time they'll just keep this on the ground. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports halftime report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this third quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
You're not ready. You're not ready. Right there, 54.
Flacco off play action. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for, and that'll bring up second down.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with, some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Here's Flacco. Left side here to Sanders. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Here we go.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Like 80. 54. Like 54. Let's get the ball.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Three butt.
Setting up to throw, Flacco. Sanders has it over the middle. As Sanders has it poked free. And the Raiders pick it up. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
Check 43.
So after the fumble recovery, it's Carr. Throw left side, taken in by Renfro. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
What down? You ain't going nowhere.
They'll run on first down. It's Jacobs. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
He's not going to get me.
To throw his Carr. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long.
Let's make these babies.
Operating from the gun, Carr. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller doing what he does best with a sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here now, Johnny Townsend. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
First and 10 here for Flacco. Over the middle, complete. That's Sanders. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
On 1st down, right back to Lindsey. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Flacco, and that's complete to the tight end Hireman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down. Flacco on the money to Hireman, his tight end.
That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos get a bit closer. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But when you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. pause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Now Flacco will lead them up as they're going to go for 2. Lindsey going to try and run it in. And he'll find his way in for 2. And we're back to a 2-score game. The lead's cut to 16. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On first down, Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carr. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Will Parks there in coverage to knock it away. And sensing the momentum maybe changing here a little bit, Charles.
Yeah, this defense is going to get off the field quickly, and their offense got them a touchdown last time they had the ball, so they should get another shot.
Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll kick it away for the second time.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Check line 54, line 54. That's not new.
1st and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. Decent start there to the drive. Big hill to climb, needing 2 touchdowns, also a 2 2-point conversion.
So, partner, how do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat an elephant. Who eats elephant?
But if you do it one bite at a time. That's the way they've got to play this, one play at a time. Yes, there's urgency, but they have to be careful as well.
Let's go with like a 50-ounce ribeye. One bite at a time.
All right, I'm with you.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
You ain't doing nothing.
Now it's Flacco. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. On 3rd down, here's Lindsey. They showed a little athletic juke, but then the daylight quickly closed. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Flacco looks to throw. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 45-yard line.
Hey, watch number 5.
From the gun, Flacco. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Screen pass to Lindsey. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Flacco over the middle, and it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12. Flacco will take to the air again. And he's got it. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. In a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run. Here's Janovich, the fullback, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Broncos cut into that lead. And from the 1-yard line, they didn't try and reinvent the wheel, do anything cute. They just gave it to the big back.
You almost get the sense that if you can't get it in from the 1-yard line with your big guy carrying the football, you'll question yourself the rest of the day. They got it done.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion.
Check, check, check.
Operating out of the gun, Flacco. And he's got it here for the 2 points, but there is a marker down, so we'll have to see what that's about. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Check, check, 47. Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Over the middle here to Brown. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Throwing now is Carr. Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
QB drop. Watch QB drop.
So the fumble recovery, now Flacco to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Sanders. And he's got this down to the 35. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. A good start there on 1st down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Flacco leaves to Lindsey on the draw. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. He's got daylight. The 40. He's at the 30. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Here we go, D. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. We're done.
On 1st down, Jacobs. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On the ground with a tight end. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good, and that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Flacco and the Broncos now down by 13, less than 90 seconds to go. Field goals useless at this point. They need 2 touchdowns, and they need them in short order. They'll start on the ground with Lindsey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Flacco, a veteran in these situations, hurrying his guys up. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Flacco. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 14. Flacco from the gun. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
1st down now, but the clock continues to move. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Flacco on the give to Lindsey. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Six seconds now, 5 seconds. One last gasp for Flacco. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. So this one a victory for the Raiders. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Black Hole celebrates. The Raiders are winners here as we say so long from Oakland.